Do, 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 do. I can't believe we're already counting down. Have a good show, everybody. I feel like we just got here. South Africa, and a very warm welcome to you. This is Afternoon Express, and my name is Balisa Tembe. Now, on this Wellness Wednesday, we are calling on all of our women to take back their power with Melina Rousseau, Cindy Nell, and of course, Halo. And then we're going to be getting some much-needed self-defense tips from Amira Hendricks. But I also have a sweet tooth, and I'm also feeling something savory. So I don't know, Dumi, how are you getting us over the hump that is Wednesday?
Well, Palisa, I'm definitely calling this a winner Wednesday because I've got a winner of a recipe for you today. We'll be making fried pap balls with a spicy mayo dip to go along with it. And if you want all the recipe details, South Africa, all you need to do is go to afternoonexpress.co.za. But Palisa, over to you and Malene in the lounge.
Thank you so much, Dumi. Now, as the second wave hit, we were faced with the adjusted level 3 lockdown. Our President Cyril Ramaphosa mentioned that we should not lose focus and turn a blind eye to violence and abuse towards women and children. With this in mind, today we chat to Melina Rousseau, founding director of Women Lead Movement, who will be discussing the legal negatives and positive aspects of gender-based violence. Melina, welcome back to the show.
Awesome to be back. Thank you very much for having me.
Very crucial conversation that I love to have throughout the year. I think that it no longer needs to stay within 16 days of activism, and it's something we need to touch base with throughout. So if we just were to start with what we experienced during lockdown, I mean, in the more harsher, higher levels of lockdown, we experienced a spike in gender-based violence within the households. But now it seems though, as much as we are in level 3, adjusted level 3 lockdown, these numbers are just not dropping. Why do you think this is so?
You see, gender-based violence and femicide in South Africa have reached crisis proportions long before COVID and the associated lockdown regulations. Obviously, it has been exacerbated due to the lockdown regulations, due to the very uncommon circumstances that we found ourselves in. But let me tell you, GBV will continue to rage long after the lockdown regulations have come to an end. Why? Because it is a pervasive and a systemic and a complex problem. And we need an holistic approach or plan to deal with it. Now, I think the National Strategic Plan on Gender-Based Violence and Femicide might just be our silver bullet to deal or to not actually eradicate, but maybe reduce gender-based violence. But at this moment in time, we have not begun with the implementation of the plan. Now, if I have to mention very briefly 2 or 3 things that I think if we can do it now and start effecting change immediately, it would, obviously, we will see a reduction in GBV. The first thing is our focus on prevention work. Now, I understand we need shelters. I understand we need services and treatment for victims of gender-based violence, but we also need to focus on how are we dealing with the toxic mindsets, attitudes and behaviors that lead to violence. So prevention work is important. The second aspect that I would like to mention is the fact that GBV is a symptom of gender inequality. If we don't deal with the system of inequality in economics, in politics, society, health, education, we are not going to eradicate it. And very lastly, political will. Is the money and the human resources being spent in order for us to address this issue?
Topical, especially when it comes to gender-based violence, all the 3 points that you have raised. But this holistic approach that you have touched base with, towards the end of every single year, we experience 16 days of activism, something that we are loud and proud about here on our platform, but something as well that has different themes. And last year we experienced the Do Not Turn a Blind Eye campaign. Now, can you just tell us about this campaign that encourages South Africans not to look away?
Absolutely. So that campaign was initiated by UN Women and adopted by governments across the world, including civil society organizations like my organization, Women Lead Movement. I love the campaign because it doesn't only focus on the victim, but it focuses on the people that the victim knows. The neighbor, the family member, the friend, the work colleague, the church congregant, everyone knowing that this person is being abused and brutalized at home, but they are not doing anything to change the situation.
Are they seen as accomplices?
I love that question because I always used to say that they are accomplices, but let me tell you, there's some good news. So last year, there was the Domestic Violence Amendment Bill that came out, and all civil society organizations was asked to give inputs. We also gave inputs. Now, there's a very special amendment that's going to be brought, and I really I actually hope that that Parliament is going to pass it. It says that if an adult knows of another adult that is being subjected to domestic violence, they are obligated to go and report the matter to the police and to the social workers, failing which they will be guilty of a criminal offence. Now, obviously, lots of groups are coming out and saying, no, this is ridiculous.
Absolutely.
It's taking away the discretionary capacity of the victim, to decide whether or not they want to, lay the complaint or not. I'm saying radical laws are necessary. GBV is reaching crisis proportions, or have reached crisis proportions. We need radical laws that is now going to force the hand of society to act, because society have been apathetic. They have not done what they are supposed to do. So this law is basically forcing society to not look away.
Taking responsibility beyond the day-to-day, beyond what we've experienced thus far. I think that this definitely sends trickles down everybody's spine. But something else that's also quite interesting that we have seen trending when it comes to gender-based violence are victims taking matters onto their own hands, going onto social media, and now shaming their abuser. First of all, what are those implications? Is that something that victims should be doing when it seems as if the law is not about on your side? Is that okay to do?
Let me tell you, this is a very contentious issue, okay? And the jury is out. It's 50-50. The public is split 50-50 on this. So for me, I think I would contextualize both. I will say what is the pros and the cons of both of them. So let's look at the positives. Women coming out. I mean, for eons, people have been telling them not to say anything. Now they come out, now we're telling them not to say anything. We should applaud women that is coming out with these stories. They feel empowered, they feel liberated, and it's also a sense of education, because they're educating other people that has not been in situations of gender-based violence. They can see the signs, the impact of GBV. It's a beautiful thing, and we should encourage them. However, there's a different side to the coin.
Yeah.
We live in a country where there's laws, and there needs to be respect for the rule of law. There needs to be responsibility, there needs to be discernment, and there needs to be accountability. Now, let's say, I'm going to sketch different scenarios because it is quite complicated. Let's say the lady has already gone through, or the victim has gone through the court processes. The perpetrator is found guilty. She's got the justice, and she can tell a story. But what about the lady that has not yet laid a complaint? The perpetrator has not been charged, and so forth. So case of defamation can be brought against people like that. They can lay a case of criminal injuria against someone that puts their name out on social media, etc.
Wow.
Lots of components, but I think at the next moment we'll talk more about that.
Yeah, it seems as if we're forced to in this moment take this conversation onto our social media platforms, because indeed it is vast, it is very complex.
Yes.
But thank you so much, Melina, yet again for stopping by. It seems as if, looking at both sides of the coin, that the conversation just can't go on. But we definitely do encourage you to engage with us on those platforms. Now, women and children have the right to live without fear. If you know anyone or yourself have experienced gender-based or sexual violence, call the SA National GBV helpline on 0800 150 150. Now on social media, ladies, this one is for you. Please do fill in the blanks. I am blank. Now I want all of those affirmations, all that self-talk, all that positiveness to be coming through on our social medias. Who do you want to see yourself becoming in 2021? And use that hashtag Afternoon Express. After the break, we'll be touching base with Cassie from Afroderm. You're beautiful. Love the shade of your skin. An all-in-one solution for beautiful skin. The rich, deep beauty of our dark skin is special. It produces more melanin, but more melanin means your skin's pigmentation can give you uneven skin tone or other problems like ashy skin and acne. Afroderm's unique range is precisely formulated for dark skin, avoiding harmful ingredients which can irritate and damage darker skin. Instead, they have harvested nature's best fortifying herbs and minerals using cutting-edge pharmaceutical technology to, of course, treat common dark skin conditions. The special ingredients in Afroderm's groundbreaking skincare collection help to moisturize, prevent inflammation, acne, and uneven pigmentation. Today we chat to Cassie, skincare expert from Afroderm, about the science behind the product and how, of course, we can make it work for you. Cassie, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Palissa.
Now, always get so excited speaking about Afroderm because I have seen how it's truly transformed my own skin on a daily basis. I mean, 2020, I think, was such a successful year working with the brand. So I'm ready to share the magic with Mzansi. So where does one start when it comes to this range and what makes it so special?
Palissa, Afroderm is extremely special and also means a lot to me. So I would definitely recommend Afroderm for any shade of dark skin. And then also we'll start with our cleanser, okay? Our one-step cleanser is formulated for all shades of dark skin, including sensitive skin, which is super hydrating and sifts away all dirt and grime just built up on the skin.
I love that. I love a good cleanser. It always makes my pores feel so fresh.
It's amazing.
And awakened, yeah.
That's what Afroderm is all about, for all shades of dark skin. And after our cleanser, we'll definitely go with our day cream, which is also super hydrating, sheer butter, including they also hydrate the skin with hyaluronic acid. As well, it's got your built-in SPF of 15, so you are set for the summer days as well.
That's so important to me. I think something that has a good SPF that protects us from the sun's rays is just right up there and is as important, I think, as the hydration that goes behind skincare.
Absolutely, and it's all packed in our Afroderm day cream.
Love that. So then what would then be the next step when it comes to just building that healthy skin on a daily basis?
Look, for every skincare brand, you know, I firmly believe we've got to have some exfoliation. So our top selling product would be our peeling gel, okay, which gently exfoliates the skin, just like removes all dirt, grime, and top seller and very mild to every shade of skin that you can think of. So very gentle on the skin, and also once a week you are able to use it even twice if needed.
I also have done my good share of experiencing that peeling gel, and it is not harmful at all.
At all.
Some peeling gels, they just feel like they almost, you know, abusing the skin, ripping it of all those nice natural kind of oils that come along with it. So I love the peeling gel, very gentle.
And also, what's nice about the peeling gel is it's super hydrating of jojoba oil as well, so that is super nourishing to the skin.
I love that.
After our peeling gel, I would definitely recommend our serum. So if you have dry, ashy skin or just a gentle serum that you would want to use every single day and night, we definitely recommend our Afroderm serum. Also, again, a lot of moisture, a lot of richness into the serum, and after your peeling, also with your day, night, serum is definitely incorporated for AM and PM use.
I love that. Okay, so we're well on our way to discovering and reimagining our skin in the most glowing, skin melanin popping way ever. But I know we are not done when it comes to the range, and you still have so much more to almost train us through when it comes to all the above. For today, you'll be back though on Friday. For today, on what note do you want to leave us on?
Okay, if you want me to give you any skincare tips, I would definitely start with, look, if you can incorporate 3 steps at least from the skincare range, which would be your Afroderm cleanser, your day, your night, or maybe a serum. If you, like me, gotta go with an eye cream, so I would definitely incorporate eye cream. Alternatively, I'm going to just say, let's start with 3 steps, your peeling, your cleanser, and then obviously your day, which gives you a basic set for good glowy skin.
I love that. We're about halfway through the Afroderm journey when it comes to the step-by-step process that we want you to almost experience when it comes to interacting and investing in your skincare. But you will be back with us on Friday to divulge the rest when it comes to the ingredients, and not only the ingredients, but the Afroderm premium skincare range that we've got on display here. But Mzansi, we are now giving you an opportunity to walk away with these incredible products. We'll be giving 10 ladies, counting them Mzansi, 10 lucky ladies, an opportunity to walk away with their very own range of Afroderm skincare. So if you would like a chance to get winning, please do head over to our social media platforms, Facebook in particular, and answer the question on the competition post. We're asking you, how are you wanting to achieve that glowing skin all 2021? Use that hashtag Afternoon Express and Afroderm in all of your comments. Thank you so much, Cassie, and see you on Friday.
Thank you, Palesa, for having me.
You're beautiful. Love the shade of your skin. An all-in-one solution for beautiful skin.
Thank you for staying tuned, South Africa. Now, meals on a budget need not be boring. Our fried butt balls with a spicy Clover Classic mayo dip are proof that you can be creative in the kitchen with just a few simple ingredients that you already have at home. Now, let me show you how to make this simple yet classic dish. So what we're making today, South Africa, like I mentioned, we are making fried butt balls. And to make the butt, obviously, we need to start by making sure we cook our butt correctly. So what I've got over here is some rapidly boiling water in our pot. Basically, I put some boiling water in there and I want it to boil and bubble up before we go in with our pap. It is important to make sure that your water is hot, as in boiling hot, whenever you're making pap. You don't want to use room temperature water. You don't want to use just hot water. It must be boiling. And I don't know like what other people say, but I like to put salt in my pap. I always make sure there's salt. If you don't want to put salt, it's completely up to you. So while that water bubbles up, I'm going to basically get started with the dip that goes into this dish. It starts off with our amazing Clover Classic mayo, and I'm using the number 2, which is basically the medium tanginess. We've got the one that's very strong, which is with number 3. We've got the mild, which is number 1. So you basically choose the one that works best for you. If you like it a bit more tangy, then you can use the number 3, which is the strongest of the 3. If you like it a bit mellow like myself, then stick to the medium. You can never go wrong. And it also is a source of 10 vitamins, so at least you know it's a guilty pleasure. You don't have to worry too much about that. And into this, we've got some red chili flakes that go in there, some sweet chili sauce. I've also got some tomato sauce. So if you want to add something more to this, you are more than welcome to add herbs, perhaps. You're more than welcome to add additional ingredients in there, perhaps, because this is a more tangy flavor. If you want it to be a bit more mellow and perhaps a bit more on the earthier side, you could perhaps use cumin into this dip, make it a bit more Mediterranean, completely up to you. Let me actually just dish this up and get it ready for us. And that is our dip ready to go. And I think it is the perfect time for me to start adding the mealie meal into our pot. And there we go. I'm just going to chuck it all in there. And then elbow grease, South Africa. Let's go in there, let that mellow out. And all you're going to do is, it was on high heat. I'm now going to turn it down to a medium heat. And all I want now is for the pap to cook. This should take about 10 to 15 minutes. Obviously, the more you have in there, the longer it will take. So let me just leave that unattended. I'm going to cover it up because you want it to steam up and cook. Luckily, I've got some that we made a little earlier. And this is basically the consistency you want. You don't want it to be too soft because you want to be able to manage it in your hands. And you also don't want it too hard because you also just want to be able to manage it in your hands. And so into this mixture, I'm going to go in with some cheese. Like we mentioned, you can add whatever flavors you like. South Africa is completely up to you. I'm going in with a bit of bacon. If you want to keep it vegetarian, then you can actually omit the bacon. It's completely up to you. And then a bit of mixed herbs go in there, some salt. I'm also going in with a bit of pepper. If you want it to be a bit more on the chili side, yes, you're also more than welcome to add all of that spiciness over here. Let me do this. So I'm going to get started with the breading of our mixture, just so you guys see exactly what we're doing. I'm going to break in an egg over here, and then another one. So basically we're going to bread it now, we're going to crumb it and make sure it's all nice and crispy. And basically all I do now, I'm going to take a bit of the pap, a bit of the cheese, and we're basically just rolling this into beautiful little balls that then we're going to crumb with our egg and our breadcrumb mixture. So let me just mix that up for you. And this is simple, South Africa. So if you're looking for a snack, if you're looking for something to snack on while you're busy at work, or if you're looking for something to keep the kids busy, if you're looking for a recipe that doesn't demand too much of your time, this is the perfect recipe for that. Then we go in with a bit of breadcrumb. And my technique whenever I'm breading anything, the one hand is for the wet, the other hand is for the dry. And then go into the oil to fry up. I'm going to make sure my oil is on medium. I don't want it to be too hot, and I also don't want it to be too cold, because if it's too cold, it basically means that instead of frying up, the pap balls are going to absorb the oil. You don't want that. What you want is you want to fry up on the outside, because the pap is already cooked in essence. So there we go, my second ball going in. And like I mentioned, it's a simple and easy recipe, because the biggest part of this is basically just getting the pap cooked. Once the pap is cooked, then all you need to do is just bread it nicely, add all the ingredients you like to it, add the extras. If you want to add a little bit of extras, it's completely up to you. And basically let it fry up to a nice golden brown texture on the outside. You want it nice and crispy, and then you bite into that. The cheese is nice and melted on the inside. You get those bits of bacon on the inside and those herbiness or whatever herbs you've put inside there, South Africa. And it's as simple as that. And if by any chance you feel like this is the dinner you want to try tonight, then go to afternoonexpress.co.za for the full ingredients list and all the steps. But I know some of you might not have been watching, so here's a quick recap.
Made with love by Clover.
So, we've had classic fashion from Timby, classic cars, thanks Chad, and we've seen classic hairstyles. And you, Michael? Classic.
A classic range from Clover. Timeless taste.
Made with love by Clover.
Well, Palesa, you did ask a lot of our viewers on social media what they are. The ladies specifically. Ladies, you are. I want to hear what they're saying.
Well, Nomfanelo says, I am pretty and I'm proud to be myself no matter what. Hashtag Afternoon Express. We also have a bit of a fitness expose here. Someone putting themselves on blast who says, Shahida says, well, I am a Zumba addict and loving it. Hashtag Afternoon Express. We also have one of our viewers here, Usu. Shout out to you, Sue. I'm loving what Sue said. Sue says, I am a queen of my castle. Loving that, Mzansi. Keep the conversation coming. Now, coming up, we find out how can we dispute life insurance claims with standard banks, and then we get a self-defense demo with Amir Hendricks. Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, typically speaking, people spend years contributing towards a life insurance plan to financially safeguard their well-being in a time of loss. And although it is rare, if you're not happy with your claim, you can actually dispute it. Take a look. If you have a life insurance policy in place, it's vital that you understand the terms and conditions of how it applies and how it affects you. That's why I'm back with the Standard Bank Insurance Broker team to ask the right questions about how the claims process works. Elaine, thank you so much for taking time to sit with me this afternoon. I mean, over the past few weeks, I've truly gained some real insights on policies and how the claiming process works. But one thing that I wanted to ask you, what happens if a client is not happy with the outcome of a claim? Are they able to dispute it?
Absolutely, Palesa. A customer has the right to dispute the outcome of a claim if they're not satisfied with it. Usually the terms and conditions should contain the details of the complaints officer on them so that the customer can use the details of the complaints officer to make contact and lodge a dispute with them. There is usually an internal complaints process that the customer will need to follow.
What avenues do clients have to take the matter further?
If the customer is not satisfied with the outcome of the dispute resolution process with the insurance company, they are welcome to approach the Ombud for Long-Term Insurance. The Ombud for Long-Term Insurance acts as a mediator between policyholders and long-term insurance companies, and they're independent and objective. And just for interest's sake, Palesa, the long-term ombudsman has actually awarded over 200 million rand in payments to policyholders in 2019. So they really are impartial, independent, looking after the interests of both the insurer and the customer. And the details of the long-term insurance ombud will also be found on the terms and conditions of the policy.
With all this in mind, what's the one key take-home that clients have to keep in mind when thinking of engaging in insurance?
Important, Palesa, is to make sure that the customer is dealing with a reputable insurance company who are suitably accredited with the relevant authorities to provide them with advice and service in the category of business that they are operating in and in the category of policy that you are looking for. Everything is in the customer's hands. The customer really has all the power. They need to ensure that they do their research. They need to ensure they understand their terms and conditions. They need to ensure that they read what they're getting themselves into. It's never too late for a customer to start looking into their financial portfolio and engage in those relevant insurance contracts that's going to help them in the future.
It's your life, it's your future, and it's your insurance policy. It's essential that you equip yourself with the right knowledge and speak to the experts and get the right cover you need. Protect what matters to you with insurance from Standard Bank. SMS LIFE to 31492 for a quote that fits your needs. Now, in discussing a topic as heavy as gender-based violence, we always have to balance out the scales and make sure that we've empowered ourselves enough. Now, singer-songwriter Amir Hendricks is also a multiple SA champion in his capacity as a fighter. He has channeled everything from karate to kickboxing to fitness. He joins us now as he demonstrates a few self-defense moves all of us can try when in the middle of trouble. Amir, welcome to The Loft.
Thank you for having me again.
Now, it's always lovely to touch base with people like you, and of course you've brought your two ladies with you who are going to be doing the demonstration. I think that self-defense right now is, you know, right up there when it comes to let's pay attention and let's have all ears open. So how many exercises and things are you going to work us through?
So I'll be demonstrating 4 things. Each one is a different situation you find yourself in. It will have to do with chokes. Like, you know, like it's the most common thing, someone try and choke you. Or so just basically how to get out of that, and also maybe how to kind of put that person out as well. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm very excited about that. Let's get into it.
Okay, cool. So the first one is one you can step up. The first one would just be basically a 2-hand choke. So that's like this, because it's the most common thing. Like people that's not really trained, they just come up and try and choke you.
Yeah.
So what she's gonna do is she's gonna just go quickly, grab me, go quick. All you're gonna do is basically drop your chin. It will give you a little bit of breathing space, and then slide this leg back at the same time, rolling out. Yeah. She's gonna do the exact same thing. And we go 1, 2, and go for it. There we go. Nice. No matter what I do, her body weight is what's gonna break this grip of the thumbs. So her trying to grab me, okay, trying to grab my hands off, like remember, like that, like put your hands on the outside, no, from this way. Okay, so any person would try and grab and go strength for strength. But in this situation, I'm a lot stronger. So she doesn't want to use that thing. She's going to use her body weight. And all she's going to do is drop straight into it. And my two little thumbs can never keep her body weight up.
Wow.
So that's that one.
Okay.
The second one, Lisa, is basically one where it's a one-hand choke. But, you know, you get like pushed up against the wall. So we don't have a wall here right now. But so you get choked up against the wall. Boom, she's against the wall. What do you do now? What she's going to do is slowly, for the first time, just turn and kind of push this hand away. So if I'm holding nice and tightly, the first thing that's going to happen, go slow, is that already, even if my hand was still there, my wrist does this, really loosening my grip. Thereafter, that's just getting out. What she does after, go again, boom, she goes to the neck, hold into a guillotine choke, and then she's going to twist up over here. So,
and then you just can't get out.
So yeah, so you hold it there. You got about 8 seconds until you pass out if you can hold your breath, but there's no oxygen being supplied to your brain, so it's pretty much over. So if you do that nice and fast, I'm in a nice grip. 1, 2,
boom.
There we go. That's what it looks like.
And you're about 8 seconds away by taking your opponent down.
I mean, they will eventually pass out. There's like no oxygen. As you can see, your neck is nice in the head.
But then also,
just to show that there's actually a nice grip there.
Yeah. But as we are talking about this, it is crucial to remember, South Africa, that what we are talking about here is nothing to be played with. So all of our young viewers at home, we're also showing you with this with maturity and making sure that everyone essentially keeps each other safe when it comes to getting such education and empowering ourselves. Now I can see that you're already equipping yourself for demonstration number 3.
Yeah, she's got quite a nasty knee, so I'm just trying to pad up. Okay, so basically this one is someone grabs you like this over here, which is also very common.
Yes.
What she's going to do, I mean, she'd probably try and rip my hands off. She'd probably try and go straight for the groin as well. But I mean, if that's the first thing you're going to do, I'm probably going to try and block if I'm trained. So she's first going to want to break out of this grip so that she has her momentum and go slowly up. Boom, she's going to push. If she goes hard enough, this will happen. She's then going to grab straight for my shoulders and go for the knee. Once he's there, this person will go, catch their breath, and she's going for the same choke again.
That we saw in number 2.
That you saw. So if we go nice and fast, I'm going to hold tightly. 1, 2, and 3, go. There we go. And there we go again. So the tighter she makes the choke, it's difficult to get out of.
Absolutely.
So, like I said, you got 8 seconds.
You got 8 seconds, and you have to make it count. So going from number 1 to number 3, I believe you do have one more maybe that you can show us.
I do. Of course, I saved the best for last.
Okay. We're definitely holding on tight. And I'm sure that South Africa, you are feeling empowered right now, feeling like, you know what, even if I do find myself in a very scary situation, I do have the right tools to be able to find my way to safety. Okay, it seems like he is ready.
This very next one, I've showed them a little bit of boxing. They've been doing boxing with me.
Yes.
So basically, if you're in this situation and someone does throw a punch and it's coming from the top, what you can do is you're going to block straight up. So we go slowly, boom, she's going to block up, opening up this whole part. She's then going to turn, go for the turn, grabs the wrist over here.
Yes.
And locks this so that I can't pull. The next one she's going to throw. But...
Hey!
Practically like that. So
down.
If we go nice and fast, it's gonna be a lot nicer than that as well. Okay, so we go 1, boom, and go.
Throw him over the shoulder.
Yeah. She's then gonna hold onto the arm, which is the second point. Pop her leg straight over if you want to. Like you see, you could just throw the person and you could run. But if you do want to end it and break this arm over here, you can. Just hold on to the arm. She's going to pop her legs over. What happens here, because the leg is here, I can't come up.
Yes.
So now she's going to pull down over here, and she's going to lift the hips up. There we go.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then that definitely will inflict quite the amount of pain on the opponents and on the predator's elbow here. So I thank you guys so much for coming through, showing us step by step from number 1 all the way to number 4, and talking through essentially everything that you need to keep in mind to make sure that you are safe. Now, Mzansi, whether it's fighting or singing, we continue to wish Amir all the best on his journey, and we thank him for showing us a few moves that I'm sure all us as women are grateful to bear in mind. Now, coming up after the break, we will be touching base with Cindy Nell from Women for Women, and we're finding out what that organization is all about.
Express yourself.
Looking for fantastic health and weight loss benefits without a lifestyle change or being on a diet? Well, Shapeline 50 Billion from Proven Probiotics is the first ever probiotic to offer scientifically proven weight loss, while at the same time boosting immune and digestive health. That's why we think Shapeline 50 Billion may well be the world's most effective probiotic. Available at Dis-Chem and Clicks.
Welcome back to your midweek edition of Afternoon Express. Now we welcome former Miss SA Cindy Nell to the studio to chat about her organization that empowers, educates and uplifts women and girls in disadvantaged communities. Cindy, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Palessa.
Now having you at the end of the show, I think, speaks so true to all your organization, because I feel like it is a true encapsulation of everything we've been talking about, education and empowering our young girls. So what is Women for Women all about, and what inspired you to start the organization?
My first aha moment for starting the organization was when I had my own daughter. And with my years of working in various different charities, from my Miss South Africa days through to working with Miss Universe all over the world, one thing that's really stood out for me is that there's still a very big discrepancy in the level of education that's provided to young people based on their income. And if I imagine my own little girl, all little girls should have the level of education and access to the knowledge and education, specifically non-traditional education that she has. And I was the principal judge also for the Mrs. South Africa organization for many years. What really stood out for me was that so many of the women who entered that platform came in, and I saw the transformation, like rapid transformation within a year in them. It really was something that stood out for me year in and year out. And I thought to myself, imagine we could transport this process into a year of a girl's life at a younger age. You know, in that very influential age between kind of 9 and 13, where we teach girls about menstruation, sexual health, you know, non-traditional skills, everything from you know, self-awareness, self-protection, grooming, public speaking, saving, basic entrepreneurial skills. Yeah. And with that, the marriage of Ania being born and the Mrs. South Africa organization, Women for Women, was born. We basically run life skills programs all throughout the country. We currently have 20 active programs in townships and underprivileged areas in the country. country. And we do these once a week lessons where the girls come and we're seeing the transformation in them within 1 year.
And then where do these classes take place, these life skills?
So we would typically ask a church for a space, or wherever we could get a space, or we would rent a little space. So our volunteer teacher, head of that program in that area, so we would appoint a volunteer teacher, we would train them in our specific curriculum, and they would then take charge of that little pod and run those girls. And then they arrive every week at their lessons. And it's what we're trying to do is we're trying to create more of these little pods.
Absolutely.
So having hundreds of them around the country.
Something that we definitely are seeing is that education is key and so crucial when it comes to stopping and combating violence and gender-based violence against women and children. So we salute you and your team, definitely a mammoth task that you're doing. But as all organizations do, you also run your own independent campaigns. I mean, we did see the birth last year and the launch of the Whistleblower campaign. So can you just tell us about that campaign? How many lives did it change and in what capacity?
Well, I think everyone knows that gender-based violence was very much highlighted last year, but it is something that when it is not highlighted is still a very big problem. And within the organization, we're trying to teach the girls from a very young age to stay safe, how to recognize dangers, how to keep away from them, self-defense, basic self-defense, knowing how to report crimes, knowing how to say when they feel unsafe and who to go and talk to. But we also launched the Whistleblower campaign, where we supply little whistles, the police-type whistles in townships to young girls to carry around their neck and under their clothing, and also young women, as well as little pepper sprays. We're teaching them how to use them. We're teaching them what's the appropriate time and space to use the whistles. And when you read the newspapers about the young girls, for example, that went to the shop last year and then went missing and then were found in gutters, those are typically the few seconds that we hope to intervene if somebody feels unsafe, if they can blow that whistle and draw attention to them in an area where maybe somebody was just not looking. So we're hoping to roll that out some more together with our Menstrual Cup program.
Cindy, it just seems like you are so busy, rightly so, with this campaign and with this organization, so much so that you need to call on the help of most. If we're looking at former Miss South Africa's, Mrs. South Africa's as well, the finalists included, you're calling all of these influential women that I'm sure also are giving and rubbing off so well on these young girls that look up essentially to these queens that they are. So why is it essential for you to call for this collaboration with the ladies? How frequently do you look for that help? And then at the end of the day, what's the overall mission?
So the same reason I'm here today is the same reason that we call for public faces and well-known personalities to support us. And it really is to highlight the cause. And it is not only to bring hope, that there's so many people, as you saw on the show today, there's so many people actually really doing things behind the scenes. And there's so many of us that really believe in a brighter future for our children, that really believe that we can make a better South Africa. And it's happening. But, I mean, we've been very fortunate. We've had celebrities like Minky van der Westhuizen, Rolene Strauss, Denise Simba, Liesel van der Westhuizen, many Mrs. South Africa's formers and currents who are supporting us. And it's important to us to have public faces and celebrities that support us and explain to people what it is that we do and get on board on social media, because that way we can get more funding, and the funding can be channeled from corporates and individuals down to areas with poverty-stricken needs and to the young children whose parents live in townships and leave them all day long to go to work, and they are left vulnerable, and also nobody to teach them the things that my daughter would be taught just over supper or at home. So that's why it's important to have celebrities. Are you joining us, Valesa?
I am.
Are you going to be our brand ambassador?
Sign me up. No, I've got goosebumps. I feel so empowered right now to get stuck in and involved. Thank you so much, Cindy, for sharing this movement with us. So much so that we also need to just link to another lady who is using her voice in the very same way. I had an opportunity to sit down with an artist called Halo earlier on in December, and she just, blessed us with her voice, incredibly speaking out against gender-based violence. Take a look at this. Rapper, singer, and songwriter Halo was just 12 years old when she first started rapping. Hailey Muller, aka Halo, has recently released a new music video for one of her tracks, I Pray, of her debut EP, 7 Deadly Sins. I Pray is an Am I Next anthem. It embodies the current struggles of our city and country as a whole. It's a song to sing along to and to regain our power as women at the same time. It has a really strong message, and she would like to get out there to the masses around gender-based violence.
Yep, we can't strive for peace. Bodies dropping every article that I read. Gang violence, they be reckless when they on them streets. Shooting up, there's no need for them to disagree. I pray to God, take this pain away. I pray to God, can't live another day. Pray to God, take this pain away. Take this pain away. Won't you take this pain away? I pray to God.
What a beautiful song from a very talented artist, embodying everything that I Pray stands for. Now, Halo, thank you so much for joining us on Afternoon
Thank
Express.
you for having me.
But before we get into the I Pray song that is just giving me goosebumps already just thinking about, I need to start back as you as a little young girl when you were still Hailey.
Yes.
Hailey Muller.
Yes.
You were out there battling with the best of them, rapping along with the boys during school. I mean, what drew you to music and what just got that bug?
So my passion for writing started when I was about 12 years old. I've always had a passion for writing poetry, birthday songs, and everybody who received these little letters from me were like, oh, amazing, we love it. The minute I progressed to high school, the only place you would find me is in the quad battle rapping boys. So that is where the passion and the fire ignited.
Oh, listen, I can just imagine the little Halo going,
Hey.
oh, hey, check it out now. But you have used your talents for the good.
Yes.
I mean, this is a very personal story as well that you are quite vulnerably sharing with us today that we appreciate. I mean, I just want to delve into I Pray.
Yes.
So what does the song stand for and what makes it resonate so true to you?
I Pray is one of the closest songs to my heart. For me, it literally started as a prayer. I would pray this prayer for years for my community, for those suffering, the women in abusive relationships. And the prayer became so melodic in my head that I went to my producer, Sean, and I said, dude, we gotta put this onto a beat. This is where we need to go with the song. And because I'm a victim of gender-based violence myself, it's only right that I use my voice in the right way as well.
Well, very powerfully you are doing so, backed by an incredible band. I see that you are representing the ladies on the drums.
Yeah.
And we got the fellas here keeping it all melodic for us. Thank you so much for joining us and spreading this message. I see that you even got it in your nails, honey.
Yes.
So let's keep the stop hashtag gender-based violence going. This South Africa is Halo with I Pray. Take it away.
Thank you. I pray to God, take this pain away. Pray to God, can live another day. Pray to God, take this pain away. Take this pain away. I pray to God, and lately I've been asking him a lot. Kids shot up on the block, getting raped on the park. I pray to God, cause I'm conflicted by society. The power and the hierarchy got me in a dire need. Hey, I'm in the chapel till my knees are weak. God, if you're my voice, please help me speak. I'm soul searching, can you help me seek? Cause the devil running wild in the CPT. Army been deployed, yet we can't strive for peace. Bodies dropping every article that I read. Gang violence, they be reckless when they on them streets. Shooting up, there's no need for them to disagree. I pray to God, take this pain away. I pray to God, can live another day. Pray to God, take this pain away. Take this pain away. Won't you take this pain away? I pray to God a lot. I pray to God a lot. Hey, I pray to God a lot. And I ain't never gonna stop. Am I next to be raped, killed, and murdered? Knowing I walked this earth and I didn't deserve it. Am I next to be subdued as a servant, subject to the devil's evil works of his servants. At my next, what's my body's sole purpose? To be raped and discarded as if I wasn't worth it. At my next, to be a victim of sex, knowing that I object with every move and step. This goes out to all my sisters we lost. R.I.P. Queens, please know I pray a lot. It hurts me like it hurts you. Femicide, injustice, man, the system failed you. I pray to God, take this pain away. I pray to God, can live another day. Pray to God, take this pain away. Take this pain away. Won't you take this pain away? I pray to God, take this pain away. I pray to God, can live another day. Pray to God, take this pain away. Take this pain away. Thank you. Thank you, Deep Soul.
That was absolutely beautiful. Congratulations again on your debut EP, 7 Deadly Sins, and of course on this amazingly stellar anthem for all the women out there to regain their strength, titled I Pray. Now, South Africa, I want to find out from you on social media, how are you lending your voice to the fight against gender-based violence? Use that hashtag Afternoon Express in all of your comments. Welcome back to Afternoon Express, where we are joined by true royalty, Cindy Null. Now, at the end, throughout the show, we've been just touching base about gender-based violence, a topic that I think that is timely, time and time again, whether it's in the beginning of the year or at the end of the year. Thank you so much. But before we dive into your organization and everything that us as ordinary South Africans can do to get involved, Domi, do you want to tell us what you prepared for dinner?
Oh, most definitely. While I do that, I'm actually going to dish up a little bit. So we made some fried pap balls, right? Pap is normally enjoyed just as an accompaniment to other dishes and stuff like that. Today we made it the star of the show because it's an ingredient that everyone has at home. So why not not spice it up and make it, you know, more than just a simple plain ingredient? It is amazing.
Delicious.
So we made fried pup balls with a spicy chili mayo dip that goes with it, and I promise you the creaminess of the pup and the creaminess of the mayo is just something for the books.
Magic.
Sounds delicious.
I know. As soon as Cindy sat down, it's time for me to snitch. She was just like, can I start eating now? I'm like, no. Let's wait for South Africa to join us. And speaking
But what a vibe, pup balls.
I know, right? I love it too. While she's passing me the Pyrenees mayo dip.
So yes, as you were saying, how people can get involved.
Yes.
But let's first and foremost, we need corporates to commit financially to us. We're a registered non-profit organisation, a public benefit organisation, and we need the finances to set up these programs in township areas. But we also need, we need things like sanitary pads. We need, we need to purchase all the stationery. We need to, pay for transport fees and food and all those kind of things. So financial is the most important. But people that can sponsor us any sanitary pads, stationery, basic grooming for girls, so that's very important. But also, we need to help with our website at the moment. And we're a volunteer-based program. So any woman or any men, actually, that have got... any skills. So if you're a lawyer or if you're an MC at an event, later in the year we're going to do fundraising events and we can use your skills, we can use your volunteer. So email us on our website's Woman for Woman SA. And with the number 4. Okay. And we'll put you on our books and maybe we can get you involved in one of our things. He's going to cook for us, you're going to MC for us.
Yeah, sign me up. Do me. Are you cooking?
I am in.
If these pup balls are on the list, I'm there as well.
I agree. Ne? Everyone's going to be full. No one's going to go hungry. I'm there.
A successful event. Thank you so much, Cindy, for coming through. Dumi, thank you so much as well for contributing to this conversation. And thank you, Mzansi, for tuning in every day. Now, good night. God bless. And for tomorrow, we are going to be touching base with Dumi as she heads over to Joburg.
Yeah, Kel. We are going to be doing amazing things in Centurion, but you forgot to say the one last thing.
What?
Happy eating.
Happy eating, Mzansi. English.
Bye, guys.
Afternoon Express, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.